Hello and welcome to Voices of Agriculture here on RFD. This is Gene Hall and we're coming to you from the Lone Star State of Texas at the Fort Worth Stock Show at the Planet Agriculture exhibit. We'll have a report on that, plus we'll take a look at some outstanding young agricultural professionals and wrap up the American Farm Bureau Federation Convention in Seattle. We'll have more on Voices of Agriculture right after this.
It's a grassroots voice in Austin and Washington for farmers and ranchers like me.
It's educational and scholarship opportunities for young people like me.
It's money-saving benefits for member families
like us.
What is Texas Farm Bureau? I am.
I am.
I am.
Welcome back to Voices of Agriculture. We're here at the Planet Agriculture exhibit of Texas Farm Bureau here at the Fort Worth Stock Show. We're talking with Kara Kelton, who's in charge of this exhibit. And Kara, we did a story a couple of years ago on Planet Agriculture. What's new and what's changed since then?
Well, in that time period, we have been really working to update the whole look of Planet Agriculture, give it a newer look. Some of our graphics were a little dated, so we're working on getting some more interactive games and a little bit of a fresher look.
Do the kids really enjoy it?
They do, especially the interactive games, and we have a lot of toys for them to play with.
Okay, we're right here now by the Misconceptions on Agriculture exhibit. What's that all about? Interactive, right?
It's very interactive. We had applied for a grant from the American Farm Bureau Federation and received it to try to tackle the issue of misconceptions about agriculture. And the way we felt we could best do that is with a computer game where visitors can play a true or false questions and answer them and see what misconceptions they might have that they don't even realize about agriculture.
Well, let's step over here and take a look at a person's genes could be changed by eating a genetically modified fruit or vegetable. Now, if I say that's true, what happens?
You are incorrect. If you eat corn, do you become corn? No, your body digests the proteins and absorbs the amino acids to use them to build proteins. Your body cannot tell where the protein originates. It treats all proteins alike.
Well, and whoever looks at this has a different idea, and then you move on and scroll through the whole thing.
And we decided we should not just answer with yes or no, because a lot of times they, well, why? You know, they already have this misconceived idea, so we gave it a good explanation. And also to help that, while people are playing, you can also read our graphics, which cover other issues.
It must be really fun to watch the kids go through here. Many of them are seeing the world of agriculture for the very first time. What's that feel like?
It's a lot of fun. It makes it more fun to see how excited they are to learn. I do cotton ginning demonstrations, and I show them how their clothes start out from a plant, and they find that so fascinating. It's really enjoyable for me.
Okay, what are some of the misconceptions that you deal with here?
One major misconception in agriculture is that chocolate milk comes from brown cows, which seems very silly to you and I, but to people who only see it in the grocery store, they don't stop to think about where it originates.
So you're changing the way Texas thinks about agriculture.
We hope to.
Thank you, Kara. We'll be right back with more of Voices of Agriculture.
You're tuned in to TFB Radio Network,
the #1 agricultural radio news network in Texas, based on the CUME rating in the 2009 Ag Media Research Study.
We're back on Voices of Agriculture at the Planet Agriculture exhibit of the Fort Worth Stock Show, where a miniature cotton gin is demonstrating how the valuable cotton fibers are pulled away from the cotton seeds to be spun into thread and eventually into the pair of jeans that you wear. Moving on to another story, Tom Nicoletti has a report on the recently concluded American Farm Bureau Federation Convention in Seattle.
The spectacular scenery of the Pacific Northwest, including the region's largest city, Seattle, was the setting for the convention of the largest farm and ranch organization in the United States. The American Farm Bureau Federation's annual meeting returned to Seattle for the first time since 1952. The business session of the convention drew 369 voting delegates from across the nation, 23 from Texas. The farm and ranch delegates unanimously approved a special resolution strongly opposing cap-and-trade proposed legislation before Congress, while strongly supporting any legislative action that would suspend the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gases under the Clean Air Act.
So this will bring us up to date currently on how we feel about cap and trade and global warming and that kind of thing. And we're very opposed to some of the things that are going on. And we look forward to working, as it goes forward, that we'll be working to get some of these issues settled.
Following a challenging year in the dairy industry, dairy policy was debated extensively. Delegates approved supporting changes to the federal milk marketing order structure, formulas, and price classes used to compute milk prices in order for those prices to reflect current market conditions.
Milk production, milk industry has changed dramatically in the past few years, and we need to look at it differently than we've been looking at it. I think this is some new language that gets us looking at some market conditions that maybe didn't exist before.
Regarding risk management crop insurance policy, Texas delegates received passage of a resolution calling for all crop acreage reporting dates be a minimum of 30 days after the actual planting date.
Mainly it's an issue in the far southern reaches of the cropland. Basically, it's probably not an issue for everyone, and it wasn't, too controversial, but there are instances where every now and then we're required to report what we've planted before we've actually planted it, and we're just trying to clear some issues up with RMA and FSA.
Texas also pushed through policy supporting a crop insurance program that may allow actual production history calculations to be based on 5 years of actual yield history, not adjusted for quality factors.
Well, in today's crop insurance programs, in order to get payments on poor quality, whether it be low test weights or whether it be aflatoxin or something, they reduce your yields. And when they reduce, it doesn't mean that you didn't produce the corn. It means, though, that in order to make you a payment, they're going to reduce the yields. And what that happens to create for the producer is that over a period of time, you reduce your APH, and then that way your insurance is of less value to you in the long run.
All policies approved at AFBF's annual meeting will guide the National Agricultural Organization's legislative and regulatory efforts through 2010. Delegates also re-elected AFBF President Bob Stallman, a Texas cattle and rice producer, to a 6th two-year term. Barry Bushew of Oregon was re-elected vice president. The 91st American Farm Bureau Convention opened with its traditional parade of flags of the states. More than 4,000 Farm Bureau members then settled in for the president's annual address.
It is more vital than ever that we communicate about our values, that we convey how food production today is compatible with traditional ideals. We hear much about sustainability, which in my book is the most overused and ill-defined word in the policy arena today. The first sustainability for agriculture has to be economic sustainability.
Numerous conferences and seminars offered Farm Bureau members the opportunity to hear from industry experts and a former member of Congress from the state of Texas.
Health care reform is absolutely necessary if we're going to avoid a financial calamity for our country. Period. Doing nothing is not an option.
In other convention activities, during the State Farm Bureau Awards program, Texas Farm Bureau won 5 awards of excellence. TFB also received the Navigator Award for Outstanding Membership Growth, with the largest membership gain in 2009, with 17,101 new members. For Voices of Agriculture, this is Tom Nicoletti in Seattle.
The story of beef production in the state of Texas originates with families, with people living on the land, working hard to produce that beef that arrives on America's dinner tables. We want now to highlight some of the work being done by the Texas Beef Council and a video produced on the internet, which you can find at txbeef.org.
Have our opportunity to continue to put our mark on this land, continue to work to take care of it. You guys make the 7th generation of Browns to be on this outfit and to carry on the tradition of raising quality cattle and taking care of the land and livestock. It's a product of great nutrition where we can take the grass out here that you and I and chickens and hogs can't utilize and convert it into high quality protein.
My name is Donald Brown. I'm the youngest of 4 children in the 6th generation of the R.A. Brown Ranch. We're located in Throckmorton, Texas. It's 120 miles west of Fort Worth.
Woo! Come on, let's go eat. Time to go. We call our place here the Starr Ridge Land and Cattle Company. It's in Hopkins County, which is in northeast Texas.
My name's Jason Peeler, and we operate a feed yard in Floresville, Texas, which is kind of South Texas, south of San Antonio.
They are driven to provide a safe and a nutritious product for American consumers today in building better beef here at the ranch.
I think it's important mainly because we have 4 growing kids, and so for all of our kids to help them grow healthy with strong muscles, especially the boys in athletics, I try to replenish all their protein back. It's part of every meal we have at home.
We are proud of that because we feel like that we're doing a great part of providing the nutrition that boys and girls, men and women can have. We produce beef that's high in protein, it's high in zinc, it's high in iron, and it's a product that's so nutritious and so delicious. And just from 3 ounces, you can get all the required elements that you need in a day. You don't get up in the middle of the night to go check a cow that's maybe having a baby, and you might do it 2 or 3 times just to see that that baby calf comes into this world and is okay, is alive and well and up having a good drink of milk. Whether it's a beef cow or a dairy cow, that's what we do here.
Humanely is a good term, and that's what we spend a lot of time and effort doing. The better we treat the animals here, the less stress in their lives, the healthier they are. They're no different than people. When people around a strange crowd, or when people travel, or when people get stirred up, they get sick. And the same thing happens with an animal. So the better we treat it, the more humanely we treat it, the healthier they're going to be. Every animal here is checked every day, at least once a day. And to the best of our ability, we pull them, we bring them into a central facility and doctor them. And we've got a consulting vet that gives us a protocol and tells us what to use and what works.
It's actually the most important thing I think I eat. Next to water, beef and meats are the most important thing because it helps rebuild. You break down your body so much with running so much high mileage that you have to replenish the protein back into it, and beef is one of the best things. It's got the vitamins and the minerals and everything I need to put back in my body after I've exercised for 3 or 4 hours.
In reality, the Beef Quality Assurance Program is a way of saying, our ancestors utilized common sense and sound science, and we have more and more sound science, and so here's how we need to utilize the technology that we have available to us with the common sense the good Lord gave us to care for these animals the best we possibly can.
The first part about sustainable agriculture, I think is sometimes overlooked, is that it has to be a business. It has to be something that can continue. And what you try and do to be sustainable is to create an environment of business where you're producing food that can continue forever. And we do everything we can to protect the environment around here to make sure it's sustainable. There's a lot of effort that's gone into recycling the waste of the cattle, put back onto the pasture, put back on the crops. It's great fertilizer.
We're a family business, and we have been since 1895. We're here, it's what we do for a living. We love it, we enjoy it. Having the honor and the responsibility of caring for God's creation is something we take very seriously, and something we care for 365 days a year.
Attending college is a goal of many young people, but getting on campus is very expensive. That's where Texas Farm Bureau can help. As members of the Texas Farm Bureau, students can compete for thousands of dollars in scholarships through Texas Farm Bureau's annual statewide contests. Free enterprise speech, talent find, and Miss TFB. The Texas Farm Bureau, making a difference for agriculture and rural Texas.
Agriculture is Texas' renewable industry, not only growing food and fiber for Texas families, but creating 1 in 5 Texas jobs. I'm Mike Barnett, editor of Texas Agriculture. In our publication, you'll read profiles of the trendsetters of agriculture in the Lone Star State. We'll bring you profiles of farmers and ranchers surviving and thriving on the land and the issues shaping the future of rural Texas. Read all about it in Texas Agriculture, an exclusive benefit of your Texas Farm Bureau membership.
We're back on Voices of Agriculture. We're here now at Planet Agriculture and the wheat display. Many of the products in agriculture are displayed here in this sweeping exhibit of agriculture in the state of Texas, all produced by professionals that grow your food. The Texas Farm Bureau recognizes some young professionals in the field of agriculture with the Excellence in Agriculture contest. Take a look now as we interview the finalists in that contest. 3 young professionals from across the Lone Star State, one from South Texas, one from the Coastal Bend, and one from Central Texas, are finalists for the 2009 Excellence in Agriculture Award. The Texas Farm Bureau EIA Award recognizes young members who are involved in agriculture but do not earn their primary income directly from their own farm or ranch. They represent a group of professionals that are vital to the success of Texas agriculture. They are the best of their chosen field. This year's EIA finalists are Cody Fry of Armstrong, Whit Weems of De Leon, and Rachel Williams of Bowling. Cody Fry is the manager of the Armstrong Ranch in Kennedy County, where he lives and works with his wife Dawn and their 2 daughters. Whit Weems is the Texas AgriLife Extension Service agent for Comanche County. He and his wife Mandy have a daughter. Rachel Williams is president and founder of Ranch House Designs, a full-service advertising and graphic design firm that specializes in agricultural advertising and website design. Growing up in Belleville, the son of an Exxon employee and a school teacher, Cody Fry could have wound up doing most anything in the professional world. But it was a love of animals and a stroke of divine providence that ultimately brought him to manage the sprawling Armstrong Ranch south of Kingsville.
Going through A&M, probably 95% of the animal science majors wanted to at some point in time manage a ranch and if not, go to vet school. That was a faraway dream for me because not coming from a big ranching family, I always looked at that as a dream. So I took a couple of jobs staying with beef cattle, but in the feed yard sector. And luckily things just, by the grace of God, everything worked out great.
After finishing his master's degree, Cody and his wife Dawn moved to Canada, where he worked a couple of years before returning to the States to work for a feed yard in Gonzales. In 2007, Cody heard about a job opening down in Armstrong. Today, Cody manages a 1,500 head commercial cattle herd on the 49,000-acre Armstrong Ranch, as well as tending to the day-to-day operations of the wildlife management and the ranch's oil and gas interest. He also serves on the Kleberg-Kennedy County Farm Bureau Board of Directors.
The primary hair color is silvery gray.
But that steels his resolve to make service to such groups not only an honor, but his duty.
And that's one of the reasons that I have gotten involved, because I feel like it's up to me, as well as other people of my generation, to get involved. The whole ranching opportunity is what I call it, has been a challenge, and I love a challenge. I think it's something that everybody needs in their life. You couldn't ask for a better place to raise a family.
Diversification in agricultural enterprises keeps Whit Weems on the move in his role as Texas AgriLife Extension Service agent in Comanche County. When he is not assisting producers with everything from dairies to beef cattle operations, pecans to peanuts, and watermelons to watersheds, he is leading research projects to increase production options for local farmers.
There's several commodities that I work with, and that really makes it enjoyable. One of the things that I strongly believe in, and one of the things that draws me to Extension, is the grassroots approach, working with the local producers and the local people to develop ideas and address needs and issues directly on a local level.
Having grown up just across the county line in Dublin, Whit says coming to Comanche County was like coming home. He has a master's degree in agricultural education and began his career in Falls County, where he helped local youth with 4-H projects. He later moved over to Hamilton County, where he worked as the county agent before moving on to Comanche County. Today, he spends his days working with local producers and completing his doctorate in education, which he expects to finish soon. Whit serves on the Comanche County Farm Bureau Board, as well as leading youth ag education programs as a local county agent and Farm Bureau leader.
One of the quotes that I believe you can build an extension career on is, what a man hears, he may doubt. What a man sees, he may still doubt. But what a man does himself, he may never doubt. And so that is what the result demonstration and applied research is built upon. It gives an opportunity to actually take these new technologies and take these projects out into a field and out into a producer's land and actually be managed by that producer in real life situations.
Growing up on her family's V8 ranch near Bowling, Rachel Williams was never far from the show ring or her family's prize-winning Brahman and Shorthorn cattle. She now owns a small herd of her own, but Rachel is president and founder of Ranch House Designs, a full-service advertising and graphic design firm based in Wharton. She specializes in agricultural advertising and website design.
I really think I have the best life I could ever imagine because I understand the business from the ground up because I've seen it every day of my life since I was born.
Some early projects in web design prompted another calling, one that ultimately led her to seek a master's degree in communications from Michigan State.
For me, I have the best of both worlds because I have a 9-to-5 job that's fun and gives me something to do that's creative and I enjoy, but then at the end of the day, I can come here and sit on my porch, watch the sunset, look at the beautiful cattle in the pasture, and it just gives you a feeling of peacefulness and really thankfulness for all the blessings that God's given us.
While her business may have started in a spare bedroom in 1999, it's grown to include clients in 44 states, as well as Canada, Mexico, Panama, and Australia. Today, she manages the advertising needs and well over 350 websites for ranchers the world over. Last year, she made the Aggie 100, the world's fastest-growing businesses owned by Texas A&M graduates.
I get a real sense of accomplishment of being able to help them improve their operations. Whether the ad that we create just helps them to get one more prospective client coming to their ranch or a person to give one more bid when they're at their sale. I get a lot of personal pride in knowing that I'm able to help people who are just like me every day at my job.
And the winner of the Excellence in Agriculture competition was Cody Fry of Armstrong, Texas. Well, it's time to wrap things up here from Fort Worth and the Planet Agriculture exhibit. We're standing now by the wind exhibit, and it is time for us to blow on out of here for another week. Remember, you can see us on the web at www.txfb.org. Look for that beef video at txbeef.org. And don't forget, Planet Agriculture will be in Houston on March the 2nd. I'm Gene Hall for Voices of Agriculture. Catch us again next time.